players? How are y'all doing out there? I am so excited to have everyone here with us today. We are so excited. Uh, I have some of my favorites on here with me, you guys, and I am so excited to get their perspectives. You know, you when you're on TikTok, you only get to hear a minute. Now you can hear 3 minutes of how people feel about certain subjects. But you know, it's exciting when you get to hear a little bit more and get to know people. And these are definitely two of my favorites on TikTok. And I'm so excited that they came to join me. I was nervous that Thomas was going to say no. I knew Rosie would say yeah, but I was a little nervous that Thomas would say no. I'm like, I thought you was gonna tell me that ain't my thing. That's not my thing.
No. I go where I'm needed and wanted. Come on now.
Well, I'm excited. I am so excited to have you on. Before we get started here, I just wanted to give just show you guys, if you're not following Thomas the Villain, you should definitely go and follow him. And I would like to share with you all one of his recent TikToks that I found to be a favorite of mine. So you guys check it out.
500 miles of very beautiful, very successful wall.
You's a goddamn lie. Donald, you didn't build 500 miles of shit. Okay? And the fact that you can just say this shit in your little fucking strigori, just eat it the fuck up, and nobody's supposed to challenge them because facts don't care about your feelings, is a goddamn shame. I'm gonna need you to stop lying, Donald. I'm gonna need you to stop letting motherfuckers try to lie. People keep acting like we don't have fucking functioning eyes, so therefore we can't see, and therefore we have to believe what the fuck y'all say. Y'all out y'all fucking mind. That motherfucker, he was getting that 10 walls a day bullshit off when he was running for president during the fucking debate with Biden. If you don't sit your lying fat ass the fuck down some goddamn way and shut the fuck up, take your ass over there, man. I'm sorry. I'm an idiot. I'm sorry. Let me just go ahead and say I'm an asshole.
It was wonderful. Rosie, I tried to find one that it was not, so harsh, but my boy went in, and I was loving every second of it. And I hate that they don't let you duet stitches, because I would have put that on my page so freaking quick. It was so funny. It was swift to the point, and let his ass have it, and I freaking loved it there. I loved it.
I'm sorry. I'm an idiot. I'm sorry.
That was an awesome TikTok. I really enjoyed it.
That was fair.
Thomas, so tell us a little bit about yourself and all of that good jazz.
Oh, well, Thomas is a retiree from the United States Army. Thomas is brand new to this entire social media thing. My older sister, Belinda Harris, introduced me to this, and I have jumped in feet first since the election. I've been on TikTok. I had a YouTube channel before that. I got my Instagram. So I'm here. This is what I do now. I do college and be the king of pissing people the fuck off. That's what I do.
And we enjoy it. So make sure you guys, if you're not following, make sure you go follow Thomas the Villain Bishop on TikTok. Absolutely great content. I love when he goes in, but he also does some other, some very informational content that I really enjoy. But he's definitely going to give it to you rough and raw and straight to the point. And I love it there. Now we have my lady here, the very famous Rosie North Omaha Cat Lady, here with us. And I would like to show you a recent TikTok that she did that I found to be a good TikTok. Look, it's not Flossie Mae. Although I wanted Flossie Mae, but it was too long. I couldn't get it. So I picked this one because it's on the top.
Okay. Sitting here getting my fat bitch on. You know what today is?
It's indictment day.
Alan Weisselberg already turned himself in. He's the chief financial officer for the Humpty Dumpty McFuckstick, the yodeling cat testicle corporation, mafia group, whatever you want to call it. He, of course, is saying he's going to plead not guilty because he's going to fight this all the way. See, what they did was very insidious and very sneaky. When you pay salary to someone, you have to pay taxes on it. Duh. So what they did instead of actually giving people money is they gave them things. They gave them trips. They gave them condos. They gave them tuition to schools for their kids. You're still supposed to pay taxes on those. But they didn't. Oops. It's just another way that Dingleberry McDogfart, the erupting anal boil, avoids taxes. But I'm sure he's going to release his taxes soon. Very, very soon. Soon!
I loved it. The Dingleberry McFuckstick. I'm dead. I love that one. That was freaking amazing. I love that one. But you do a lot of good TikToks, but that was a good one there that was on the subjects that we need to talk about. Rosie, so tell us your names on TikTok and tell us a little bit about yourself, please.
On TikTok, I go by North Omaha Cat Lady, and I've been on TikTok just a little over a year. I am a paraeducator for special education for the Omaha Public School System. And seriously, I got on TikTok because I was bored because of the, lockdown with COVID. And I saw Mary Jo Lopp on CNN for the Tulsa rally. And I was like, oh, I want to do that. So I joined TikTok, and the rest is kind of history. I'm shocked still that people are following me. It's like, really? I don't really like do editing. I don't have a ring light. I just sit in my chair and talk about stuff. So that's just me.
We absolutely love it. I mean, I've been following you for a while, and I've always loved your content. Very genuine, sweet, kind content, and also very funny. I love Flossie Mae. She's the best. And I always enjoy your commentary. When I want to get possibly a little laugh, but then I also want to see some serious stuff, I'll binge watch your videos, because there's like a healthy balance there where you'll get some serious stuff on one and then you go to the next one, it may be something funny. So I feel like that is important, and I appreciate your content, seriously, and I'm honored that you came here to be with us.
Love yours. I love yours. Yours is the news channel.
I'm serious.
Oh my God, yours is the CNN of TikTok.
I appreciate it.
Her names for people are hilarious.
Man.
Oh my God. I can't get any better than Tucky. I don't give a fuck. I can call Tucker Carlson anything in the book. It's not gonna be better than Tucky.
Let me tell you, Thomas, I had no plans to cover that story that day. I didn't. I wasn't even going to cover it. And then you made that video and everybody started tagging me. Where's Double D Mova on this? I'm like, oh gosh, I gotta cover it. I wasn't even planning on covering it, but when I saw your video and you were chuckling, I said, oh yeah, I know it's funny. I gotta cover it. I
had to. I was like, this one I can't do any justice. You can't put a meat and potatoes guy into some bullshit like this. Where is Double D Mova? Where's she at? Hey players, Tucky fucking up. I needed that. I can't do it. All I was doing was laughing at the shit. I'm like, can somebody find Double D Mother and let her take care of this? I was leaving this. I was just laughing. I couldn't do anything but laughing. As soon as I saw the story, I told my wife, I said, I know somebody on TikTok who can handle this very well. That's why my whole video was just laughing. I said, I can't wait for Double D Mother to get over this.
Right.
Hey, player. As soon as I heard that, hey, players, Tucky. I was done. I said, touchdown.
You got it. Also, you know what? I really appreciate y'all for that. That doggone Tucky, though, he was a mess for that. Now, so we're gonna jump right into the stories. We have the first one. I'm gonna start off with the Trump organization because Rosie's TikTok. We're gonna start off there. So we'll start off with what happened yesterday with Frumpy Dump's organization facing criminal charges, as well as Alan Weisselberg by himself, the CFO of the company, who has been working with Frumpy Dump since the 1980s. What happened yesterday? Now, they had been saying, okay, so let me start it off here. So Monday, I read a news article that said that Trump's attorneys the Trump organization attorneys had one last chance to convince Cy Vance, the Manhattan District Attorney's Office, not to file charges against the Trump organization. They came back on Tuesday and said, oh, they're not going to file any charges against Frumpy Dump, but we don't know about the organization. So everybody was expecting these charges. They came out Wednesday, and said that they were going to charge them on Thursday.
Yep.
So what happened was the organization was charged with scheme, conspiracy, grand larceny, falsifying business records, and criminal tax fraud. They said that they had been running this scheme for 15 years, and they had been compensating Weisselberg as well as other employees, in which I'll get to that in just a second. Yep. They had been compensating Weisselberg and other employees basically under the table is what I'm going to call it. Because so they also charged the payroll company that Frumpy Dump owns because they were the ones that were in charge of distributing the money. This Weisselberg was giving direct compensation from the company. He received rent for his Upper West Side apartment. Yep. They were paying his utilities, his garage expenses. They were paying his wife's leased Mercedes-Benz note. Yes. They gave him at least $30,000 in cash over a 6-year period to pay for personal holiday expenses. He also paid his own children over $300,000 worth of tuition for his children. It is a complete disgrace. And look, the investigation is not over. In the documents, this is a 26-page document that I read. There's an actual unindicted person that is, in my opinion, from the way I'm reading it, is feeding information to the company. What I feel, and I'm going to ask you guys what you guys think. What I think is that this is to put a squeeze on Weisselberg to get him to talk. I think that they're trying to flip Weisselberg, and from the way he was looking in this clip, they just may do it. Let's check it out.
Anna Lay, and then their daughters, Lucia and Emma. Lucia was just
And Ellison, forgive me for interrupting. I'm going to kick it back to Eamon in New York.
All right, you're looking at pictures right now of Alan Weisselberg, the CFO of the Trump Organization, coming into the Manhattan courthouse. You see there, he is handcuffed, escorted by law enforcement as he heads to the 11th floor of the courtroom.
So he's been arrested, placed in handcuffs. He's in. I really want to know, Rosie, what do you think about this entire situation?
Well, I absolutely agree. I actually think, he's 73 years old. They had, I don't know how many people surrounding him. They put him in handcuffs, and perp walked him in there. That really is a reality because you just got perp walked into the courtroom. So this could be your reality for the next 5 years. He's 73. So does he want to spend his twilight years in prison for, Dingleberry McFuckstick? I wouldn't, or do you want to spend it? Do you want to flip and spend the rest of your, time with your grandkids, your children and stuff like that? I think it's very much to put the screws on him. And it's very much like how they go after, like under RICO laws, how they go after the mafia. Yes. They get somebody who's important to then start flipping up the stairs.
Yep.
He's an important player, but he's not the kingpin.
Correct. I agree. Thomas?
He better turn into fucking Weisselberg 6'9". Look, I'm just gonna be honest with you. I have been loyal to a fault to a lot of people. I truly have. And I've gotten a lot of benefit from that. But if I'm 73 and I'm facing 5 years in prison for Donald Trump, I am Aretha Franklin. I'm singing every single time you tell me. I'm going to the court singing. I'm going to start off as Mahalia. When I get in there, I'm going to get into Aretha. And don't let me get too good because it's Beyonce time. I'm singing to everybody.
Exactly.
Weisselberg, and I get it. All the compensation that the Trump organization gave him is fine. I get that. That's completely understandable. But loyalty only goes so far. My kids' tuition, if they're out of college, fuck them. I'm out.
Goodbye.
I'm snitching on everybody.
Exactly.
Don Jr. doesn't use deodorant. Eric ain't got no chin. If Ivanka once used a maxi pad 3 times in a row, I'm snitching on everything I know. I am turning into Weisselberg 6'9". I'm putting tattoos all over my face, and I'm just pointing at people. And Donald Trump kicked a kitten, and I'm everybody. Melania, she steals bras. I'm snitching on every. There's no level of loyalty for the shit that Alan Weisselberg is accused of.
Exactly.
No,
every one of them.
He does need to, and this is definitely an effort to squeeze him. They wanted, they weren't able to flip him before the charges, so they're like, oh, he doesn't think anything's gonna happen.
Right.
So let's just go ahead and charge his ass, because we've been giving him time after time to go ahead and say something, and he hasn't said anything. So since you don't want to say anything, fine. We're going to go ahead and charge your ass. You're implicated in this crime, so we're going to charge you. He could have very well flipped before all of this and probably not even gotten any charges, but he chose not to do that. They have unindicted people that are now speaking.
Yep.
Under deposition, Ivanka Trump lied and said that she didn't know Alan Weisselberg. In my opinion, under deposition, that's a court of law. She should really be charged with perjury. And like I said, and Letitia James' office made a statement just to let us know that this investigation is ongoing. They don't want anybody to think that anything is over. This investigation is ongoing. They made a joint statement saying this. So I just don't think that this is the end of course it's not the end, but I'd be interested to see if Weisselberg is going to flip. And if he's not, if he's ready to spend his wonder years in jail for the taint of Frumpy Dump. And we're talking about Rikers Island in New York. We're not talking about
we're not talking Club Med in New York. And that's what I don't understand. For Ivanka to get on a stand and literally say, well, I've never met Alan Weisselberg. He works in the foot. She should have been arrested at that moment. Why did you get off the stand and not go to jail straight up? Like, that's
because she's a white girl. That's why.
Trumps. Exactly, but that's
she's a rich
Trumps.
white girl.
But that's how the Trumps operate. They are the kings and queens of we over here fucking up. We over here fucking up. Somebody goes, hey, you see the Trumps over there fucking up? I don't know what you're talking about, man. And rather than getting them because they're this tight-knit cluster of overly fried Cheetos, they're going after the people around them. Because wasn't Weisselberg's ex-daughter-in-law on MSNBC singing weeks ago?
Oh my goodness. She was just on yesterday.
Yeah, she got her snitching.
They're all trying to tell. They're all trying to snitch and tell. They want Donald Trump has rubbed so many people wrong. And the thing is, he was on top. Let's just be honest. In New York, they thought he was the on-top real estate agent, real estate guy. They thought that he was this billionaire, even though they should have known something is up with this guy. He's filed bankruptcy 30 million damn times. He was on top of the game. When he became president, that was the stupidest thing that Donald Trump could have ever done was to run for president of the United States because he had too much going on the side. He had too many irons in the fire.
But he got that ego.
Yes.
It's his ego. He has to have it all.
He wanted to beat Obama so bad because Obama embarrassed him at the correspondence dinner. And he's like, I'm going to run for president. With as much dirt, Donald Trump doesn't have a skeleton in the closet. This motherfucker has cemeteries, plural. With that much dirt in your life, you shut the fuck up. If you are a thrice married, baby mama having, Adderall and cocaine addicted, shitting on yourself, fake apprentice ass person, the last thing in the world you want to do is, I'm a hide in plain sight. I'm going to put this really big ass spotlight called the presidency of the United States on me. The fuck were you thinking? And now people are like, he spent 4 years, fake news this, fake news that. Some shit ain't fake. Donald knows what to. And if Weisselberg is smart, he's snitching.
I think that Trump thought that he would be above, like presidents aren't usually indicted and things like that. And I think he thought that would last forever. And, you know, he's pretending to be president right now, so he seems to think that he has immunity from all this, and really, and the whole family seems that they have that attitude of white privilege. I'm just going to say that white privilege of it doesn't apply to me, the rules don't apply to me, and I am above the law.
They are Xerox copy mayonnaise privilege. That shit, you can't get any more whiter than thinking that your dirt is going to hide while you're president of the United. Come on, man. Donald Trump he should brought it on himself. Fuck it.
He did. I made this video right after he lost the presidency, and I said Donald Trump is going to regret running for the president of the United States by the time this is all over. He's lost his contracts in New York. People can't even buy his merchandise because they don't have a payment processing company. He's lost every bit of social media that he has, although they launched a new social media platform yesterday that is already having problems. It's called Twitter, I guess, and it's already having problems. People can't get their verifications emails. I didn't even report it. I thought it was complete malarkey. I can't wait to see that fall. So, and then also he's got all these defamation lawsuits that the Supreme Court is actually ruling against him and saying, hey, we can't protect you from this because this didn't happen while you were president. This happened after you were before you were president. So we can't protect you from this. Donald Trump was using the Justice Department as his own personal freaking attorneys.
And I don't know why Bill Barr's ass ain't sitting in jail right now for that bullshit.
Exactly.
I mean, obviously nobody remembers Watergate. Apparently, Watergate must have been some shit that happened. Exactly. It happened in an alternate reality. Did anybody not see the last narcissistic motherfucker we had in the White House, Nixon? Nixon had an enemies list and was doing dirt on so badly that this motherfucker had to leave. Barry Goldwater had to come to him and go, Mr. President, we do not have the votes. You're going to need to leave. And that motherfucker left. Exactly. He left, and Gerald Ford's like, okay, I'll pardon you. Trump didn't read any of this shit. He's like, well, I can do better than Nixon. Yeah, you did. You were literally the worst human being to ever put himself in a suit and occupy the seat of the fucking Oval Office, and it's all your fucking fault. I don't feel bad for him. I can't wait for the motherfucker to go to jail. I will go back I got family in New York. I will go back the day that motherfucker walks his orange ass in with that orange jumpsuit and them orange shoes. I will be out there with pom-poms. Y'all ass going to jail. Y'all ass going to jail. Because he did it to himself. Wound.
And I've said this in several of my lives, if he'd had any sense, which he doesn't, after he lost the election, in that window before Biden took office, he could have resigned the presidency. Mike Pence would have been president. I don't know. Somebody's dog could have been vice president, and then Pence could have pardoned him. It's like you really haven't read history because you actually could gotten a presidential pardon.
Yeah, he could have got a pardon
you did while you were in office.
Yeah, he could have got a federal pardon, but it wouldn't have helped him with the states.
Oh no,
no, it wouldn't help him with the state. The states at all, but. You know, there's a lot of shit he did while he was in office, too.
Of course, he was a fucking rifter, and his whole fucking family were, but you can't tell. And the other thing is, people have waned on, except for the diehard maggots, people have waned really hard on Trump thanks to January 6th. That was not a good look to begin with. It's like, you're leaving this dumpster fire. Oh, by the way, let me throw some napalm and horse piss on it just because I like the smell. Right now, if he's looking for sympathy, that's why his ass stays in Mar-a-Lago. People come to him. He ain't taking it. He goes to those little rallies. Well, we're having a rally. You know, it's kind of like that old person with dementia. Come on out, there's some pudding. And he goes out and does all his greatest hits, and people are now leaving those motherfuckers. And New York has been waiting on that ass for 4 years. New York has just been rocking. Okay, all right, day one. And as soon as, he lost the election. Oh, wait a minute, it's January 19th. All right, wait, hold on. They checking watches, Cuomo. Everybody, it was like, we waiting on that ass. And as soon as the motherfucker left, but he did this to himself.
Yep, absolutely.
This was the biggest, stupidest, self-inflicted gunshot wound I've ever seen in my life. That's why I've never liked them. I haven't liked the motherfucker since '89. I can't wait to see that hair in Rikers. I can't. And if I was Alan, I would be snitching today. As soon as I did the perp walk, I'd be like, who I got to talk to? Well, I want to know. I know everything. You want some notes? I would tell on everybody.
Exactly.
Send these motherfuckers to jail, man, because they ain't going to do it for him. That's the other part of it.
Yeah, because he has such a history of just throwing people under the bus. I mean, it's like, why would you stick up for this man?
I'm
pretty sure he would throw Eric and Don Jr. under the bus and say he never knew them either. He'd never met them. Like, I don't know who they are.
Out his sons. My TikToks will be me laughing until I piss. If Donald Trump sells out his children,
I think he would. I actually think under the right circumstances he would.
I'm the wrong person.
He said there was a story that he told about his own father, and his father said something like, "Do you trust me?" And as a child, he said, "Yes." And his father said, "That's a mistake."
Oh. I remember that.
And it was like,
I remember that.
Oh, so this is generational bullshit and lies and intrigue and all that stuff. So I do think he'd throw his kids under the bus. I think he would.
And when he does, I want to see Don Jr.'s face, because all the cocaine in Florida is not going to be able to save that man. He's going to have a phone up underneath his nose talking about, my father would have never done what he said he had to do. He was doing it for the good of the country. And it's going to be right here. Kimberly Guilfoyle is going to be sitting there consoling. Please. I need this. I need this so bad.
Well, as we now we'll move on here to the next thing, because look, we're 27 minutes in, we're almost done. I knew that one was gonna get us. And one more is gonna get us caught up too. So here we have the Nancy Pelosi and the select panel that she did to investigate January 6th, which I think is extremely important that we investigate January 6th, but the Republicans don't seem to think so. In particular, Kevin McCarthy is very upset that Liz Cheney actually took the assignment. So I'll explain to you all. On Wednesday, the select panel to investigate January 6th was passed at the House. So on Thursday, Nancy Pelosi gave her weekly press conference where she spoke about where she announced the people that were going to be on the select panel. She picked there's supposed to be a total of 13 people. It was supposed to be 8 people were going to be picked by Nancy Pelosi, and then 5 were going to be picked in consultation with Kevin McCarthy, meaning that he couldn't just write out pick. He was just going to be in consultation with them. I guess he's not going to pick any because he's completely against the select committee. So Nancy Pelosi has named Representative Benny Thompson, a Democrat from Mississippi. He is the chair of the panel. And then she's named Representative Pete Aguilar, a Democrat from California, Liz Cheney, a Republican from Wyoming, Zoe Lofgren, which is a Democrat from California, Elaine Lara, I might be saying that wrong, from Virginia, Stephanie Murphy from Florida, Jamie Raskin, which I adore, Jamie Raskin, a Democrat, and Adam Schiff, who is from California. So those are the ones that she named. And then she had this to say when she was on doing her press conference.
I am very proud to be able to announce the members of that committee this morning. Our chairman will be Benny Thompson. He's chair of the Homeland Security Committee, and he negotiated the bipartisan commission, and we thank him for his leadership. Chair Zoe Lofgren, House Administration Committee, which is having key hearings as Committee of Jurisdiction for the safety of the Capitol. The intelligence being very important to this, Chair Adam Schiff of the Intelligence Committee. Pete Aguilar, House Appropriations Committee. That is a committee of jurisdiction for this, as well as being a member of the House Administration Committee. I'm saying this in seniority order. Congresswoman Liz Cheney of the Armed Services Committee has patriotically agreed to serve on the committee. She has a family matter she's dealing with, may join us depending on how long this takes. But we're very honored and proud that she has agreed to serve on.
So she was very happy that day. Somebody came person actually tried to ask her a question about Kevin McCarthy, and she said you need to direct those questions to him and his caucus. Liz Cheney said that she was very happy to be a part of the panel. I would love to know what you all think about that, about the panel. Do you think? Oh, let me give him one more. So this panel, there's not going to be a deadline to when they have to complete this report. They're also going to have subpoena power, so they're going to be able to subpoena people, and they're also going to be able to examine some of the FBI records, some of the records that they have. They're going to have all the power to be able to look at every single thing. I think the people she picked was awesome. I don't have a problem with any of them. And I feel like they'll do a good job. Thomas?
Okay. I'm going to start off with this. We have reached a point in America in 2021, and I've made videos about this, but I am being dead serious when I say this. Liz Cheney, the daughter of Dick Cheney, the most evil human being walking the face of the motherfucking earth today. The man who literally Satan has to call before he brings his funky ass up to earth. His daughter is a part of a committee that the Republican Party wanted no parts of to investigate the January 6th insurrection, which their guy initiated. We have literally crossed some sort of invisible barrier right now, because it's not even the committee deserved to be there in the first place. I'm just overwhelmingly shocked that Liz Cheney is the one who the Republicans shitted on, and the one who stood up for her principles and is now a part of a group that's going to investigate something the Republicans are trying to pretend like did not happen. Where in the actual flying, fried, hot buttered fuck are we today? I don't know what else to say. I don't. It's just shocking to me.
Rosie?
Well, it does feel like we're in the upside down. Because, and I actually think it's very short-sighted of the Republicans to refuse to participate. And what they'll probably do is come back after the findings and say, well, you didn't include us. Well, they tried to, and having Liz Cheney on there, I think, is actually a brilliant move of theirs, because she was like the most conservative of the conservatives. They stripped her of everything because she wouldn't go along with the big lie. And I'm hoping at least she has a soul and will participate as an active member of this committee, because it is something that should be investigated, and it should be bipartisan. And if there's some other Republicans they can get on there, Mitt Romney or somebody like that, put them on.
I would put on Adam Kinzinger, and mind you, I don't agree with Adam Kinzinger on anything. He's the sort of person that could tell me the sky's blue and I still go outside and check. However, Adam Kinzinger is another one who is literally been, Our president initiated the insurrection that happened on January 6th. There's no ambiguity about the shit. And I watched a New York Times video that they put out yesterday, where they matched up the videos that they had with the surveillance, with the radios, calls, and everything else. If we've done 45,000 Benghazi investigations, we had an investigation after 9/11, we had an investigation after Watergate, we had an investigation after the assassination of JFK. For Republicans to pretend like, let's just pretend like it just didn't happen. I don't know what you're talking about. They were tourists. For them to act like this investigation is unnecessary is the most ridiculous. It's the reason I said I don't like either political party, but I can tell you right now, the Republicans are a problem. They are a threat to democracy.
Yeah,
they want to fuck up something and then pretend like that was Antifa. I mean, seriously.
One person I'd like to see put on too is actually Nebraska Senator Ben Sass. and he's
I
a
would love to
Republican.
see him.
Yes.
But
Yes, because Ben Sass was like that. Ben Sass and Mitt Romney and Susan Murkowski. But
we had a very unusual Senate race here in Nebraska, and I think because of all what happened then, he realized that he had to become more moderate. And it actually feels like he is reaching across the aisle, at least to the Democratic voters like me in Nebraska, and going, I am listening to you. And it's like, oh my God, that doesn't usually happen in Nebraska. We are stuck firmly in 1955. Right.
Yeah, the Republican Party is going to have to change.
Right. And I think there are some good, I don't think you're necessarily bad because you're a Republican. My mother was a Republican.
No.
But there are Republicans, there are Trumplicans, and then there are QAnon Trumplicans.
There you
those
go.
are three totally different things.
Yes.
And,
they are zombified.
They need, what I've seen is they're starting to distance themselves little by little. It's pretty slow. But I think what we're going to see in a year is it's going to be a wider gap and a wider gap and a wider gap, because I don't think people are going, when they come up for re-election, it's like, well, you said you said January 6th didn't happen. You said it was orderly people walking through Statuary Hall. No, they were smearing dookie on the walls. I mean, they were beating police officers to death. I mean,
how do you deal with a group of people who to this day believe that Jay-Z, Tom Hanks, and Hillary Clinton are grabbing babies, eating them, but insanguinating them, draining them of all their blood, and then bathing in it? There's
always been a history of crazy people in the United States. People, I believe Elvis is alive, the flat earth people. Only now they've been emboldened by, Chief Crazy.
Because idiots elected them
to
Congress.
So now it's
like
okay
crazy
to bring the crazy out of the closet and parade it through the street.
Right.
I hope something comes out of this committee. But
I do too.
Like we already noticed, two things are going to happen. We're going to come and find out what everybody saw on January 6th was a direct result of the big lie being told since November 4th on. That's the first thing. And the second thing, the Republicans are going to deny everything. Because that's their brand now. Their brand is it didn't happen, and if it did happen, we had nothing to do with it. And if we didn't have nothing to do with it, it was Antifa, and let's blame BLM. And they're going to continue to do this. The only fear that I have is that bullshit, the culture war shit, the January 6th never happened shit. That's going to win them seats in the House.
Yeah.
And if Democrats lose control of the House, this committee is dead in the water. And that's my biggest fear. This is one of the things that I hate about the way the Democrats govern now is this whole, we got to remember bipartisanship. I don't have a problem being bipartisan to a moderate Republican who might not agree with me. Great, fantastic. We can at least shake hands and go on about have a beer. You cannot bipartisanship with crazy.
No,
I agree.
Who in the world ever said that Batman should learn how to be more bipartisan with the Joker? Who the fuck thinks like that? This motherfucker is a madman.
There's no middle ground between like the Democrats and Marjorie Taylor Greene. There's just no middle ground.
None.
I mean, there's like a chasm. You're not. It's in my opinion, it's not even worth trying. It's like arguing with a QAnon Trumplican on TikTok. It just, I'm not even. It's like fine, whatever. Believe what you want,
Yeah.
I'm to the point where I start. It's not that I cuss them out. I make fun of them because you have to. There has to be a line in the sand. Every person, how we've been talking about boundaries. Exactly. We've been talking about boundaries. This person has a boundary, you should respect it. This person has a boundary, you should respect it. The boundary for sane people should be that. We're fucking sane. You don't have to agree with me politically. I don't have to agree with you politically. Right. We have different ideas, but let's sit down and actually have a conversation.
Right.
When you come in with Tom Hanks' bathing in the blood of babies, you got to get the fuck out. You got to go that way. You can't be
and you need your medication adjusted.
Yeah, like
you seriously do.
Yeah, whatever you're taking, take more of it.
Yeah, it's not working.
You're not talking. But again, that shit is going to win them seats in 2020. And
we do have to be very, very vigilant. I mean, we have to have the same energy with the midterms that we did with unseating, Donald Blair in the gas hat. We do. It needs to be fair.
And
really
you know, I think that it will, because we know that there's a lot on the line. A lot of people know that there's a lot on the line. So we definitely have to keep our feet on the ground. We have some good candidates that are going to be coming up against some of these people. Some of these people that are up for re-election. So we definitely have to keep our feet on the ground and make sure we have people understand that not only just voting in your presidential election is important, because the turnout for representatives, like midterms and different things, that's a little bit, it's always a little bit, it's always less than what it is during the presidential election. So we have to make sure that people understand that, so that way we can get them to vote. So with the select committee, I think that it's going to be a good thing, depending on who we have for the other people. I know that they're not going to put Mo Brooks or Musty Marjorie or Lauren Bobblehead, because they have to be house members. They're not going to appoint
somebody is not in a straitjacket.
Lord,
I don't think it's going to be
Bobblehead is hilarious.
I don't think that it's going to be any of them. So we definitely have a good chance to get down and find out what exactly, which we already fucking know what happened. But
anybody,
I mean,
with two functioning eyes and a television or a radio knows exactly. Like I found out watching a YouTube video. That shit just broke in. Somebody's like, breaking news, they're breaking into this Capitol, and I'm watching these people, but they want us to believe that, you know, that didn't happen. No, we didn't try to replace the American flag on the Capitol with a Trump flag. Oh, that wasn't Trump supporters. Like, like what kind of shit? And they're winning the PR campaign of this, because the other part of it is our leaders in Congress and the Senate say, well, shit didn't happen, that was Antifa. And then you have Fox News, Newsmax, and One American News Network saying, yeah, it was Antifa that tried to break in. They was pretending to be Trump supporters. Like, what kind of fucking, are you kidding me right now?
Well, that the next day, Alabama House of Representatives, I'll never forget, I made a video about it. He said that the very next day that this was Antifa that did this at the Capitol. And we all know that is a freaking lie. First of all, Antifa is not even a real thing. It's an idea.
It's an ideology. Yeah.
An idea tried to take over the fucking Capitol. What the fuck?
Exactly. So we'll move on here to the next subject. I want to make sure that we get this in, because I know that Thomas wanted to talk about it. Shoot, I really want to do Surfside, so we're gonna have to make sure we get to that too.
Okay.
Bill Cosby. So actor and comedian Bill Cosby was convicted on 3 counts of felony sexual assault in April 2018, after a jury found him guilty of drugging and assaulting a woman in 2004. Since then, 60 women came out and publicly accused Cosby of rape, sexual assault, or harassment over the years. He was sentenced to 3 to 10 years in state prison, and now he's out because they overturned the conviction, stating that the information that that there was an agreement between the attorney and Bill Cosby back in 2005, I believe it was. Back in 2005, that if he did a deposition, that he wouldn't be charged in this crime or whatever. And so this was actually brought up in trial. They argued this in trial. His attorneys had already tried this, so I don't know what the hell this is about. But they said that it wasn't even written down. It was kind of like a verbal agreement between the attorney and Bruce Castor. And they tried to use it during the trial to get the trial thrown out or get it to be declared a mistrial, but it didn't work. The lower court throwed it out. But on appeal, they went ahead and tossed it out and let him out of jail immediately. The backlash has been swift, as far as people being upset, upset for the victims, and then upset that this type of thing can happen to somebody like Bill Cosby, but it will never happen for Joe Schmo down the street, that did something because he doesn't have the money to do the things that Bill Cosby had done. There's also outrage with Felicia Rashad. She made a post supporting Bill Cosby on Twitter that has caused, she's the dean of students at Howard. I don't know what the hell, that's a sit down. She should have sat down and ate her damn food and not said a thing because just
Sit
don't
fuck
say
down,
nothing.
shut fuck up. Yes.
Exactly. So Bill Cosby was released. I'll show you what he looked like when he got out, and then we'll talk about it.
Mr. Cosby, how does it feel to be home? Well, he is extremely happy to be home. He looks forward to reuniting with his wife and his children. And obviously, this has been a hard 3 years for this entire family. And it's really a blessing for him. And he says, his heart is just beating really fast, and he's happy to be home.
Yeah. So he's out. He's back home with his wife. No, nothing. Even though the man is 83 years old. So. But there's no provisions or anything. And we don't know if there's going to be a case that hasn't surpassed the statute of limitations to come back, or do we think that he needs to be recharged? Take it away, Thomas.
All right. I'm just going to say this and be done with it. African Americans deserve better heroes. We just do. Men like Bill Cosby represent every wrong thing about the justice system, about rape culture, about accusations, about powerful people, black, white, or otherwise, and about how the role of standing in front of people and chastising them for their faults can go horribly wrong. I was not there, but I've made a video about this yesterday. Nobody accuses you 60 times of a crime and you didn't do nothing.
Right.
What did Cat Williams say? If you smoke crack for 10 years, you are a fucking crackhead. Okay. And the reason I say black folks need better heroes is because we have to be torn in this shit. Because he's black. He's one of us. He's TV dad. He was Fat Albert. He was this, he was that. But he was also flawed. And had Bill Cosby accepted his flaws and not stood his ass up trying to be the chastiser of black people, none of this shit would have even, you know what I mean? Like, he would have just sat his ass down and shut the fuck up, and none of this would have came out. But now you've torn the black community in half, because half of us believe that Bill Cosby is this great guy and he's clip flexible, and the other half of us looking at him like a predator. Black folks need better heroes, and women, all women, need advocates. They need men to stand up and say, this is fucking wrong, and to shut the fuck up afterwards and allow these stories to come out. I don't know what Bill Cosby did, but I do know for a fact he did something, and that makes him less than this hero he's been trying to portray. I'm so fucking done with Bill fucking Cosby. I'm just done. I
agree. Someone's asking in the comments, I just want to answer this really quick. No, he cannot be retried on this particular case. It will be considered double jeopardy. So he cannot be retried on that particular case. And that goes back to me saying, I don't know if there's a case that was recent enough that has not passed the statute of limitations in whatever state this person is in to be able to be tried. I don't know if there is. Yeah. Rosie, do you have an opinion on that?
Well, I mean, that's the big problem. And just like what Thomas said, if it's the same thing with Humpty Dumpty McFuckstick. He has how many charges? 26 charges of sexual assault against him, including several from the Miss Teen America, which means he's a pedophile. But you don't have that many people come out against you that are that. They don't know each other. They're not best friends. And it happens over so many years. If there isn't some grain of truth in it, in fact, it's probably more than a grain. And the thing that I thought was also just made me just want to throw up yesterday is they said, oh yeah, and he's going to go back on tour. And I was like, oh, he must need money. But ew. I wish that we would change the laws. So, I mean, with rape charges, a lot of times the statute of limitations is just like 5 years or something like that. So there's 60 women that have stories, but none of them can bring charges. I don't know if any of them could bring a class action against him. Or
they've already done that. They've already done that. He's paid out the money, and He's paid out the money, and he's going to continue to pay out the money. Bill Cosby is worth an estimated $400 million, which I wanted to put something to bed that was stirring around too with Bill Cosby and this. I saw a TikTok earlier, and it angered me, but I'm not going to argue with this person anyway. About Bill Cosby supposedly buying NBC, and that's the reason why this all came up. You know, they did this, the Illuminati, and they did this to silence.
Oh, for God's sakes.
They've been saying that one back when, because I used to be on chat boards all the time.
Oh, yeah.
The two big fights was R. Kelly and Bill Cosby. And it were always these black, pro-black chat boards, and they will always fall down to those same two things. They're trying to take our powerful black men, and Bill Cosby was trying to buy NBC. Then we actually started doing the numbers and realized that Bill Cosby, at his highest grossing, did not have enough money to buy NBC. Never had enough money.
Back in 1992, when he proposed that he wanted, because this goes back to 1992 when he wanted to buy NBC from General Electric. He could not buy it because it was worth $4 billion.
Right.
And then you think just a few years ago somebody was going to finance him to buy NBC at 80 years freaking old? You can't put that kind of money. You can't get that kind of capital at 80 years old to buy a TV station that at that point was struggling. That's the reason why it would even be up for sale. So that is a lie. I wish that people would quit saying that. There is some validity and truth to what these victims are saying. It's not my place to question a victim. I would never do that. But there's validity to what these ladies are saying. Bill Cosby did something, and I'm going to say this, and I'm going to let it go. We back in that day, back in the 80s, and I said this in my live the other day, when some of this stuff went on with Bill Cosby, we could go back to snorting coke. How snorting coke was the cool thing to do. It was considered a cool drug. You know what I'm saying? Back in the 80s, black people couldn't get our hands on it because it was too fucking expensive. We couldn't get it. That's the reason why we went crazy over crack, because crack was actually cheaper, and then we thought it was like cocaine, which it really is, but it's more addictive. So back then, to give people quaaludes and have sex, that was a thing. Now, do I think that Bill Cosby didn't take advantage of that in certain cases? Yes, he did. He did.
Of course he did. Of course he did.
Absolutely. But that was a thing back then too, to take a quaalude and have sex. That was a thing. I don't think that I'm not saying that these ladies are lying. I'm just saying that that was a thing back then to do something like that. Now you look at it and it's like you look at somebody crazy, they popping pills and snorting coke, like what the fuck is wrong with you? Back then that wasn't the case.
But you know what? The other problem with the way this whole situation with Bill Cosby has come up is Bill Cosby has had this reputation. I made a video about this yesterday. Bill Cosby has had a reputation about him for years. He's always been the funny man, but he's also had this reputation. He's keeping these women that aren't his wife on the side, and they're coming to the sets and they're coming to the shows, and but he's been able to maintain this father figure sort of thing going on that it's hard for people. This is why I said black folks need better heroes, because men like Bill Cosby, their only heroic status is they have money and they entertain. There is nothing else about that man. He's always been a dick. He has been a dick to everybody he's worked with. He's been a dick to his fellow comedians. He's been a dick to up and coming comedians. And like I said yesterday, just looking at his reputation, what if he's a dick to up and coming funny people, to other comedians, to members of the black community? What the fuck makes you think he would not do something when it comes to the idea of a woman's autonomy over her own fucking body?
Correct.
But
Bill Cosby is like the height of that shit.
I think one of the big disparities that we have is that people don't want to look into that past. The biggest connection they have with him is the Cosby Show. Well, how could America's Dad possibly do any of this? It's all false charges. He's not Cliff Huxtable.
Nope.
He's not Cliff Huxtable, but people want to believe he is.
I'm no more
almost
Thomas
like they
Bishop
want to believe
the
the fantasy.
Yeah, like Thomas Bishop the villain is a guy on social media. Thomas has a wife, kids, a dog, mortgages, and shit like that. So if the villain says some shit on TikTok and people go, "Oh man, I saw you out in public. You wasn't acting like that." No, because that is me as a persona.
Right.
Bill Cosby had several personas. The person is a dick, and this isn't me making this up. And the other part about this, and before we get off of this, I need women to understand that we hear y'all. As a man, we hear y'all. There are some of us who are fighting change, but there are a lot of us out there that are going, you know what? It's not about whether or not I believe it happened or not. It's about me shutting up and listening. So for any woman who is going through this situation or this is triggering you, please understand, I might be one man, but I hear you. And I'm always here to advocate and listen. That has to be the one thing that we take out of this whole situation with Bill Cosby. Men have got to shut the fuck up and pay more attention to situations like this so that it's not something that a guy like Bill Cosby, whether he has all the money in the world or none of it, there's Bill Cosby the entertainer and there might be Bill Cosby the garbage guy, and they might be doing the same fucking things. But it's not on men to judge whether or not this shit is true or not. Oh, well, I don't believe all that. No, it's not your fucking job.
No one asked you.
No, exactly. No fucking body asked you. Sit your silly ass down. Shut the fuck up. And if a woman comes to you and says, this has happened to me, you believe her, you help her, you support her, you have her back, and you do not judge her. Bill Cosby got away with the shit that he got away with because he was powerful, and nobody could believe that man could do this to these women. Look at the women, look at the women, look at the women. Fuck that. I am a guy who is, I am prepared to hear, and I will always be prepared to hear. If a woman comes to me today, and I've had it happen, a woman comes to me today and say that happened, I'm listening. I'm not, well, did you bring it on? Was it your clothes? That rape culture has got to fucking die. They have to fucking die. And I'm like, I agree. Come on, man. That's that bullshit. I'm serious.
Yeah, it really is. It's really a sad situation. I think that this is a devastating thing to the victims, and I'm hoping that they can have some. I mean, I'm hoping that they're all, you know, banding together to, if they haven't already, because I know there's a lot of lawsuits. Maybe they could do something there. But Bill Cosby is, whatever years he's got left, I believe that he's probably going to spend them at home.
He needs to. He does not ever bring his ass out talk about
sit
shit.
his ass down and be quiet.
Yeah, nobody thinks about Camille and how she, you know, she's having to stick by this man through all of this. His wife.
She's known that nastiness for 60 fucking years. No, if I was her, and don't get me wrong, I love a loyal woman. But if my ass had that many charges coming in and out of this fucking house, my wife didn't kick me the fuck out, I'd leave. I'm like, I'm not just burning the house down. I'm pissing on the fucking ashes. Let me just split. You know, you can't. At some point you have to look at your wife, and that's the other fucking part. Bill doesn't even give a fuck about his wife. No. He does not even give a fuck about his wife. No. And she has to stand there with the "I support my husband." And like, come on, really?
Right.
Really? We know better.
We're running out of time here, guys.
I know. I'm sorry.
That's okay. If you have any questions for anything, or anything, please put them in the comments. If y'all have about 5 minutes, I'd really love to talk.
Yeah,
you have time, Thomas? Okay, well, I would love to talk about Surfside. I wanted to give everybody an update on maybe she's loyal to the money.
Get that money.
Talk about Surfside really quick, because I really wanted to give everyone an update, and that was something that that I promised that we talk about. So Surfside, as we know, we have Champlain Surf Towers in Surfside, Florida, that has collapsed. One side of it completely collapsed. It's a very unfortunate situation, and it's a tragedy. It's not an unfortunate situation. It is a complete and utter tragedy. So earlier this week, they've continued the recovery effort. They actually paused the recovery effort one day last week. Yesterday. I'm sorry, they paused it for a little while because they were actually fearing that the other side was going to fall, and they have a double whammy with this because they're expecting a tropical storm in the next week. As of right now, 20 people are now confirmed deceased. 188 people accounted for. 128 people are still unaccounted for. They are fearing that this one side of this is going to collapse. They have to be very careful. There's been fire that's been discovered under there. Right before we did this broadcast, a firefighter actually discovered his own 7-year-old daughter deceased in the rubble. I'll just tell you that this building is over 40 years, is 40 years old. There was actually a big controversy when that construction started on that building, because the issue was the building's height. They were extremely concerned with the building's height. But they built it and everything. But in 2018, a consulting firm came out to recertify this building. They did a structural survey and found that the building had abundant cracking, sprawling, and spalling in the concrete columns, deteriorating rebar, failed waterproofing beneath the pool. The entrance drive was all messed up, and it was causing major structural damage. For some odd reason, this one person actually signed off on this. He no longer works for the city, but he still signed off on their recertification, although they had all of this damage. I had his name, but I can't find it now. So back in 2021, back in April, they actually sent out to the tenants that they had $15 million worth of damages, and they needed to approve this. They could pay for it all in one sum. Like it was basically divided up by the units. Like if you had a 3-bedroom, you had to pay so much. If you had a 2-bedroom, you had to pay so much, like that. They were dividing up all of the money that had to be the $15 million. And they had until this month, to the July 1st, to actually sign off on this, saying that, yes, I want to do the repairs and that I'm going to pay for it monthly, or I'm going to pay for it in one lump sum. Some of it would have been like $80,000-$90,000 all in one. This place has failed inspections and recertifications time and time again, and they signed off on it. Rosie, I'd really love to know. Well, let me tell you, President Biden was down visiting yesterday. He and Dr. Jill Biden, they actually visited the wall. He's also made all his resources available. Ron DeSantis has declared it a state of emergency, made resources available so more responders can be there. There's been several celebrities that have came and given food and water and different things. So everybody's kind of stepping up to the plate in this situation, trying to help out. President Biden had this to say. It's only going to take a second to hear what he had to say yesterday.
It just brought back so many memories. It's bad enough. It's bad enough to lose somebody. But the hard part, the really hard part, is to not know whether they're surviving or not. Just not have any idea. When the accident took my wife and my family, the hardest part was, were my boys going to get out? Were they going to make it? And not knowing. When you're flying home from Washington to get the news, you just don't know. So but I was amazed. As you know, unfortunately, I've done a lot of these circumstances where I've met with families who have had great loss. And what amazed me at this group of people was their resilience, their absolute commitment, their willingness to do whatever it took to find an answer. I walked away impressed.
So that's what President Biden had to say. I would love to hear your perspective, Rosie, on what you think.
Well, I don't know if you know this, but I worked almost for 20 years in engineering services. I worked in materials testing, and I was American Concrete Institute certified. I was NICET certified. So I could talk about this for the next 2 hours, but this wasn't an accident. This was downright negligence. Because when you build a building, it just doesn't end with that. You have to constantly maintain the building. And this level of damage of the spalling and the cracking and the rebar that's deteriorated, the pool deck was deteriorating, shows that you didn't do the needed maintenance. It shouldn't be $15 million all in one lump sum. It should have been, out every 2 years, you'd have some work done on something, because this isn't only water intrusion into concrete, it's saltwater intrusion into concrete, which is 1,000 times more dangerous than the type of water damage that you'd see like in Nebraska into concrete. But this is absolutely the fault of the building owner and whoever was stupid enough to certify that. Because what I've seen on it, it was like that building was, with that level of deterioration of the concrete, it was just a matter of time before it was something catastrophic was going to happen.
And they've already started filing lawsuits. There's been a class action lawsuit.
Absolutely.
And I feel like the condo association, they got to pay the piper on this one.
Yes.
And I'm talking about big, the city, because the city has to regulate these things. That's where they get their certifications from.
Yep.
So they need to pay. Oh, and I wanted to tell you guys that they're giving them $2,000 for after death for people who have been confirmed dead. They're giving them $2,000, and then a judge ruled that they can go ahead and file for their $10,000 for their relocation money to relocate. I'm going to say this: Surfside has been really good as far as providing them like a place to live. Like they haven't just left them out in the cold. The people who are accounted for that building, because everybody out of there is displaced. The whole is displaced.
Yes,
this is complete negligence, disgust. I am pissed about it. It's ridiculous, and I swear they need to pay. And they need to pay a whole lot of motherfucking money. I'm talking about it need to be $1 billion. You got all these people that are dead, all these people that lost their homes because you failed them and you skipped out and recertified that was hanging on by a damn thread. All of those families, just think if the whole thing had failed.
It would have rivaled 9/11. That's the same. The other part that this shows you that our government, be it state or federal, is failing. Because had the inspectors gone in and been able to literally tell the owner, this is the things that are going on, you will take care of this or I will condemn this whole building. And the onus would have been on the owner to fix it. But instead, somebody signed off on something, and again, it sounds like a conspiracy, but this is what capitalism does.
Absolutely.
This is the absolute disgust of capitalism. This is why the Flint water was fucked up, because of capitalism. This is why this building the
Texas power grid. The Texas power grid.
Yes, the Texas power grid. It's like these things. This shows you that when you put profit above the lives of Americans, this is what you get. And the fucking part that pisses me off so bad is the people who can be hurt by this the most are also the ones who are actually screaming that they want more of it. Oh, well, capitalism's great. Capitalism is this. It's not. Because there should be somebody in prison today. And I mean, if it has to be the owner, fuck them. You gotta go. If it's the person who signed off on them, fuck them. You get twice the what that motherfucker was gonna get. But again, you can sue, and the people of the building will get some money. And because money is the universal language of, I'm not gonna say I'm sorry, but I'm gonna say that I'm sorry.
Right.
It's how America judges whether or not a person actually gives a shit.
Right.
And that's not how it should be. This level of bullshit, this level of property loss, lives lost, people displaced. This is some prison level shit. If a person did this, if a person went and shot up some shit and they caught him, and as many people as died in that building died from a mass shooter, that motherfucker's going to the death penalty. He's getting the fucking death penalty, period. But again, business is going to do what business does. When capitalism and deregulation and this idea that freedom means that I can make as much money as I possibly can and skirt the rules, fuck them rules, who cares? When that shit happens, people fucking die. We have children in Flint who are suffering from lead poisoning today. They will never be the same again. There are families who are suffering through lead poisoning. And now you have this. The people who survived are going to have survivor's guilt forever. The people who died, their deaths are going to be just for what? For
and the people what? and the first responders that are out there digging for people.
Can you imagine finding your own child in this fucking building?
I would have been out. I would have been out. I would have had to go.
What kind of what dollar amount could you put on that?
That's what dollar amount could you put? To me, it's like, how much is a human life worth?
Exactly. Yeah. And the owner will
you can't put a dollar amount. I mean, what is that? The $2,000. What is that?
Look, wait. It's not for a funeral, but look, it's normally $250.
Do you see what this is what I'm talking about. America runs on exploitation, skirting the rules, deregulation, and bragging about it. They run. This is what makes America run today. My fucking issue with some of these asshat Republican Trumpers is that they believe this is the greatest country since the greatest country. Fuck you. Do you see this shit? We have people dying from a fucking disease today. And we got lost over 600,000 motherfucking Americans. But universal health care, and all of a sudden, well, how are we going to pay for it? By doing what we're fucking supposed to do. You can't live. I don't like living in a country where Jeff Bezos has 190 billion fucking dollars and people in his warehouse are pissing in bottles. I don't give a fuck. I'm sorry. I don't like living in a country where a building can fucking collapse and the person who took the time to take a pen and sign off on it, probably because he was getting paid a little money here, slide a couple of dollars. All these fucking people are dying. And the owner is going to, well, let me just write a check. Here's $10,000, here's $20,000 for the life of the fucking person you lost. If I was that firefighter, I feel that way about mine closures or when mines collapse. Same thing. Well, money is how we say I'm sorry. Fuck you. No. Your time in prison should be how you fucking say I'm sorry. Not this. They're gonna get money and their people are. It's just.
And you can be a building owner. I mean, there's a building right across the street from the Champlain Towers that was built in the 1920s, but it's been maintained. You can be a building owner and still have a nice high quality of life, and still put money back into your building for necessary and just ordinary repairs that you need to do in an environment where there's salt water. Correct. And they obviously did not do that. They were putting all the money from condo fees and blah 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 association fees into their pocket.
And what did he do with it? Let's just be honest. If you can own a condominium on the beach in Florida, you have a lot of money. Yeah. So the money that you fucking sliding into your pocket because you're not maintaining a fucking building, what are you doing with it? Fuck you doing it? Oh, you got another yacht.
Buying more condos, fancy cars.
I got the brand new Saab that Tony Stark was driving in Iron Man. Fuck you and fuck you twice. What the fuck? If you were taking this, I could see if he was taking this money, building another condo just in case this one fucked up something. But instead, the rich take the opportunity to skirt and deregulate themselves into fatter pockets, and people fucking die. People always fucking die. The poor, the middle class, the human beings always suffer when a motherfucker thinks, I can make more money if I don't do regulations. And if that's your fucking mentality, bitch, bury that motherfucker in the supermax underneath that motherfucker. Don't pump sunlight to him. Fuck fuck solitary confinement. But take him in a solitary confinement cell, drop that motherfucker in the middle of the goddamn desert with an opening where you get your food, sunlight, and the water to wash your motherfucking ass. And then you see these rich fucks. And what happens? Here's Poe Cletus in some fucking trailer park in Mississippi. Half his teeth are missing. He got some are teeth here, some are in his pocket, some are in the other side of the fucking trailer. He's going, capitalism make us great. Bitch, capitalism is slow butt fucking you. It is not all the way. It's bend over. It's okay. Just
correct.
I have not talked about it. My wife told me about that shit. I looked at it once. I can't do it because the only thing I'm thinking is that owner needs to be fucked up.
Well, and
he needs
something
his
I read,
whole ass beat.
Something I read right before we went on air is that there were some engineering repairs that were actually had been started, and the engineering firm said that the owner refused to drain the pool. That the only way that they said they could do the repairs is if the pool was in operation all the time. It's like that's where some of the biggest damage was. So they were like, the only thing we could do is, like clean up some of the concrete that was falling up. They couldn't really do anything because the owner wouldn't drain the freaking pool.
Mm-hmm.
Drain the pool.
Exactly.
I mean, there's got to be a building across the street you could get an easement with. Your tenants could go across the street and go to the pool. Oh, for God's sake, it's Florida. There's a pool at every building.
How many people fucking died because of that fucking
They just didn't want to pay the money. That's all that is. They just
exactly. He did not want to pay the fucking money. And
but if you can't bring an engineering firm in and then hamstring them and say you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do this, it's like then we can't fix anything.
It's America. That building collapse is America in a nutshell. We want everybody in the world to see the
more
beauty
stuff like that
and the strength, and look how many people, and there's a pool. And when the bitch falls the fuck apart, everybody's scrambling. That's America 2021. It looks pretty. We still have nuclear weapons. We're so powerful. On the inside, this bitch is falling the fuck apart. And we don't want it. We can't talk about it. No critical race theory. We can't talk about the structure of this fucking place, which is built on enslavement, colonization, and just asshole capitalism. So when shit falls apart, riots because of George Floyd, riots because of Breonna Taylor, the shit that happens in January 6th, we were, we'll just ignore that. No, we're still good. We're still good. No, motherfucker, we're not. We're not. And unless somebody stands up and says, how much is enough? How many more fucking Maseratis and Ferraris and big houses and breast implants? How much fucking more do you fucking need? We have people buried underneath a fucking building in 2021.
Yep, they're pancaked under there.
Pancaked. We had a fucking pandemic last year.
Mm-hmm.
We've had plagues and shit falling. I mean, seriously, what the fuck else? And for what? So that the owner can make a little bit more money than he would have made had he been a decent fucking human being with a heart, a soul, and the idea of, I don't know, humans really matter. Like,
this
annoys me.
It's very annoying. My thoughts and prayers and everything goes out to the families that are affected by this. This is a very unfortunate. It's a tragedy, and we definitely need to be praying also for the first responders.
Yes,
that they're the ones that's having to pull these people from under the rubble, however they may be. They're pulling them from under there. So we need to keep those people those responders in our thoughts and prayers, as well as the family, and everyone that's displaced because of this. We'll go ahead. I didn't see any questions or anything in the comments, so I'm just going to assume I'm just going to assume that no one has any questions for me. Now, y'all know this is my favorite part of the show. Well, not my favorite part, is where I get to beg and tell people that I would love to be able to tip my guests. So if you guys could please donate to my Cash App or Venmo so that I can give my guests a good tip. I always give my guests a tip. I just don't tell you guys I give you a tip until you come on.
I didn't know there was a tip.
I honestly, I would have done this shit for free. I would have actually paid you to be here.
I just wanted to make sure that you guys would come on without knowing you were going to get paid. So,
you're so funny. Oh my God, you're a trip.
You guys send me your Venmos and your Cash Apps to so whatever I get any tips on, I'll send you guys a tip when this is with. I really
don't have to do that.
Look, it's not going to be no big money now. It's just going to be a little something where you get some.
It's not a new Maserati. Oh my God!
I would have showed up here with bells on.
So make sure y'all do that. Send me your Cash Apps and your Venmos, and then I can make sure that I can send you guys a tip for coming on to be with me. I really appreciate y'all. This has been a great conversation. I would hope that we could get you guys to come back because this has been such a good conversation. Everybody has really enjoyed it. The comments have been lit this entire time. So everybody has definitely had a good time and enjoyed you all being on. I really appreciate you guys for coming on. This was one of my most anticipated shows too. I'll let you know.
Oh, really?
Which is weird. I don't know why. That's weird.
That I did with Under the Desk News that was highly anticipated. And then as soon as I put that I told them, look, I messed up like a week ago, maybe a week, 2 weeks ago. I told them, Rosie, that you would be on, but I didn't realize it was one more week. You know, so I told them, I was like, yeah, North Omaha Cat Lady is going to be on next. Everybody was so excited and everything. And then I was like, damn, this not even the week. It's the next week.
Oh, you're so funny.
He's like, I buried everybody.
Yeah, I messed up. But next week, I'm for sure we're going to have Won't Be Silent on. We're going to have.
I love him.
Yeah, we're going to have Team Petty Headlines. And also the Big Weird Mom is going to be on.
Oh, I love you.
Yeah. Okay. So make sure you guys come out and watch and take and come and sip some tea with us. I really love to have you guys.
Absolutely.
Thank y'all so much for coming on. This has been a great conversation.
Thank you for having
me on. Please make sure you go follow, if you're not, North Omaha Cat Lady on TikTok. Also Thomas the Villain Bishop on TikTok. Make sure you follow them. They have some really good content, very great creators, and they're going to come back to Political Tea Talk. They promised me.
I promise.
So, yeah. Thank you guys so much, and y'all enjoy your evening. Y'all can just end it.
All right. Thank you so much, dear.
Bye.
Hey, players. It's time for another riveting episode of Playing Stupid Games. How long will we